Wow!
Huh. You're really not that scary. You're actually more cute than anything else.
Oh yeah? How about this face?
Ah! Oh my god, that's not all that!
Hello, big kids. It's time for your big review.
What up, big kids? Here's my big review of Monsters University. Yay! Rawr, scary. No, but I love the first Monsters Inc. When it came out. I love Billy Crystal as Mike Wazowski, and I love John Goodman as Sully. And the way Monsters Inc. ended, there's no way they could really do a sequel. It was really a nice, happy ending. So when I heard they were going to do a prequel, I was like, well, I love the character, so I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Plus, a prequel makes sense because there's no way you can really do a sequel. Otherwise, it'll be Monsters Laughing Inc. or something. I don't know. Anyway, so this takes place in the past, of course, showing a really young, adorable Mike as a kid and wants to be a scarer, and then they go to college. He studies really hard. He's really the bookworm of the group, works really hard, studies really hard. He wants to be the best, whereas Sully grew up in a family of famous scarers, and he's just pretty much trying to do the least amount of work and just get by without studying. So yeah, and by the way, Sully's a real jerk in the beginning. He's much different than the lovable, character we grown up with. But you really see these characters, like how they met and how they eventually become, the best of friends in the first one, and how they become a great team. Now, this movie, it is very different from the first Monsters Inc. This, like I said, there's no Boo in it. They do. Minor spoiler, they do interact with some humans, but in a way that is very different than Boo, and it's not as much. By the way, characters from the first Monsters Inc. do show up here. Most notably, and you can see from promotional material, was Randall, voiced once again by Steve Buscemi. And Randall is a much nicer character in the beginning. You see how he becomes the character he becomes too. So it's a lot of, you see why these characters become the way they are. So that's really cool. Now, the new characters are really great. I really do like characters like we got characters like, well, the Dean, Hardscrabble, played by Helen Mirren. She did a great job, very scary, very much the Dean. Peterson played Squishy, who's hilarious. Joel Murray played Dawn. Sean Hayes, Just Jack played Terry, and the other Terry, Dave Foley, which is funny because they do great as brothers. And then Charlie Day as Art, I love him. Like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And Alfred Mullen, freaking Doc Ock, plays Professor Knight. So, and one of my favorites, Nathan Fillion, playing Johnny, really great. So, really, and Aubrey Plaza is on there. Parks and Rec and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I love her, and yeah, so. Really great cast in this. But anyway, and so this movie, like I said, it has a very different tone than Monsters Inc. This is kind of like an animated Pixar version of Revenge of the Nerds or any of those 80s comedies, like without all the raunchiness. But what's really great, especially after seeing Toy Story 3, which is still the best Pixar movie and one of my favorite movies of all time, and then how they went into very kiddie territory, which, Cars 2, I said in my review, it had some great action, and some of the jokes were funny, but and the animation looked great, but it was not nearly as good. It really fell very short of what Toy Story 3, raised the bar. And then Brave did a little better, but it felt more like a traditional Disney movie, whereas, Wreck-It Ralph the Disney movie felt more like a Pixar movie. And so this movie really felt like it brought back more of the Pixar charm. This movie didn't have as much emotional depth as, say, Monsters Inc., and definitely not as Toy Story 3 or Up or WALL-E or Incredible. So it's not one of my favorites of Pixar. I think it's as good, or maybe almost as good as Monsters Inc. So, but just very different. Like I said, there's definitely some good comedy on here. The animation looks even better than Monsters Inc. Definitely some great callbacks to Monsters Inc. It's really a great family film that I saw this with my mom and my little brother, and we all seemed to enjoy it. We all laughed. You know, it wasn't just like my little brother laughing. Like when you can laugh like in a kids movie, like you know, my age or older, that's always a good sign. You know, it wasn't just like, you know, fart jokes or anything. It was definitely like some really funny, intelligent humor. So that's one thing I like about what Pixar does. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I'm not spoiling, this is a non-spoiler review, but yeah, you know where these characters end up. This is just pretty much how the characters we know and love become the characters we know and love. And yeah, it's just a good coming-of-age college story, but with monsters, and it's it really is, you know, enjoyable, like I said. So like great voice cast, John Goodman and Billy Crystal did a great job, as well as the other cast. Great animation. I didn't see it in 3D, but if you are a fan of 3D, this will definitely be worth it, because it's, you know, a Pixar anime film, more so than even Man of Steel. Yeah, so with that said, I would give Monsters University a 4 scares out of 5. It's definitely not the best Pixar film out there, but definitely not the worst. Cars too. So with that said, definitely go see it. You know, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, if you love these characters, you'll love seeing them in college, and the new characters are great. Yeah, it's really an enjoyable film. So, and for also awesome shirts, check out rippedapparel.com. They're awesome. And for more geek news, reviews, podcasts, and more, go to bkbn.net. I'm Sean Long. Remember, celebrate your rhythm in a big way.
Go to bkbn.net. Go to bkbn.net. Go to bkbn.net. I tell you to go. Go down.
Ah! Can't scare me anymore. Not afraid of any more faces that look like former child actresses that had a total meltdown.
There must be something else you're scared of. What? Are you finally scared of me? Ah! Run away! It's the greatest monster of YouTube!